Okay, welcome, and let's give this a try here once. I'm going to show you quickly just an overview of the software from my aspect, what you can typically plan to see and utilize, and how to use the software in a quick tutorial here. Getting started, this is the screen you're going to get, a very initial screen. You're going to get a splash like this, and then you kind of got to know where to start. So we are going to be working with parts. If you scroll over to the left-hand corner and go to File, New, you get this option, Part, Assembly, or Drawing. We are always going to be working with parts. Do not worry about assemblies quite yet. And drawings are exactly that, simply drawings of a part that you already have created. So you can double-click on Part. That's going to bring up your initial screen, your SOLIDWORKS screen, which is going to look something like this. You have an option to get your unit set up early in the game. I like down here in this corner. You have metric or English. I'm going to leave it in inches, even though we are going to work in metric very often in this class, more often than English. But check before you start. It is very difficult to change things later on. You then have a feature manager over on the left-hand side. It has 0 features in it as we speak because it's a brand new screen. However, it has a front, top, and right plane along with an origin. You get to pick what plane to start on. You always start in 2D, and then you're going to work your way into a 3-dimensional object. Once you have a 3-dimensional object, it gives you a bunch of opportunities to start to draw and create features off of that base feature. So you always want to think about what base feature is most important, where to start with that, and so forth. Across the top, you have 2 tabs that you should be concerned about. One is the Features tab, and one is the Sketch tab. We probably will not use these other features very often, at least for the first 3 to 4 weeks. We'll get into simulations later on, and we'll get into Evaluate, which you need to use the Evaluate tool in order to answer the questions on the CSWA exam. But this is going to be easier than you think because the Features tab and the Sketch tab are the 2 important tabs. Okay? Sketch, when you click on it, gives you all the sketch tools. Features, when you click on it, give you all of the 3-dimensional tools. However, only those that could be utilized. The others are grayed out given what you have on your current screen. So we are going to start by telling you a little bit more about the screen you have down here. You have a front plane. Again, I'm going to hold the control key down, a top plane, right plane. Typically, you start drawing on the front plane. That's exactly what I'm going to do. So if I click on it by going over here, front plane, I can start to draw on that. However, I encourage everyone to do this feature right over here, which is an orientation, and go down to lay flat or normal 2. Used to be called lay flat, now it's normal 2. We're going to sketch on a 2-dimensional flat screen for a little bit here, and then I'd always encourage you to lay flat when you can, to go to normal 2 when you can, and then learn these features over here, especially the different front, top, side, the 6 primary views, and then also whether or not you want to see your 3-dimensional object, in wireframe or isometric as a model. So again, I'm going to go back to normal 2 here. I'm going to go normal 2 one more time because I'm looking at it from the back. Now I'm looking at it from the front. In other words, looking at that plane from the front. And I'm going to draw just a simple object. And while I'm drawing that simple object, I'm going to take you through some of the sketch commands, okay? First and foremost, I'm going to go to click Sketch, open up these tools. And if you know the line tool command and the rectangle and the circle command, those are really the 3 main commands in here that we're going to be concerned about. I'm going to pick a line. I'm going to come over here to the origin, which is a great place to start. I'm going to start to draw. And don't worry about getting lengths exact right here. I like people to use what I call create and manipulate. So in other words, we're going to create a line. We'll manipulate it later. Look at the information it's providing, telling me that this is vertical, giving me green and yellow sketch relations as I am drawing. This one's saying it's on the origin. This one's saying it's horizontal. This one over here is saying it's now vertical. And also, you click and let go. I am not holding down my button on the mouse at all right now. But by scrolling and hovering over things, I can find a midpoint right there, and I can come up and follow that midpoint to here if that's something I want to be part of my geometric relationships, then I want to include that. See, look at this, what's going on. Vertical, horizontal, and aligned up back with that origin. So I'm going to click there. I'm going to let go. I'm going to start running around here. Get comfortable in this screen and in this command. I'm going to come down here, finish. I'm going to hit escape. A very important key is the escape key. Now you can look over at the sketch. You can see that it's black and blue. Remember, blue is underdefined, black is fully defined. This thing now needs some dimensions, okay? Again, I'm going to go over to Smart Dimension. It tells you, if you hover, it's going to tell you a little bit how to use dimension tools, which is pretty awesome. And it takes you through a little video if you want to use it. Or come on over here and click once, let go, pull down. I can change it to 3 exactly with my keyboard. I can come over here and I can make this 2 exactly with my keyboard. I can understand that I'm going to need another dimension here, and I'm probably going to need a dimension here, but once I have it, my part is fully defined. Try to work with fully defined geometry only whenever you work with things. Escape key is powerful. Gets you out of commands. Gets you out of the 3D command, gets you out of the 2D command, and then getting full on out by using the icon up in the corner right there. In an effort to turn this into three-dimensional geometry, I got to go back into this sketch by clicking and right-clicking on it. So if I right-click on it, I can get this Edit Sketch command. And inside of the Edit command, I can now turn this into a three-dimensional feature by going over to the Features tab. And now picking Extrude. And again, Extrude, Revolve, Cut, and probably Revolve Base are going to be the only 3 or 4 that we're not going to get into sweeps. We're not going to get into lofts. That is just fancy stuff that we don't have to worry about with regards to passing the CSWA. So again, I'm going to go to Cut Extrude. It goes into 3 dimensions very quickly right here, and that's when I can pull on my tab and start to give this item, this sketch, thickness. I am going to change that. Instead of trying to get it exact right here, I'm going to come over to my command manager, and I'm going to make this 1.5 inches. Hit return, and it's just a blind extrude right now. There are different options in how, we'll get to that a little bit later, and how you can extrude things and cut things. But anyway, if I hit the green check mark, away we go. That is a simple object that has a single feature over in your feature manager that has a sketch related to it. Okay. If I accept that, here's the object. Your scroll in the middle of your mouse is what I am using to move around. Holding it down allows you to flip it around, and then panning in and out, zooming in and out I should say, is by just rotating it. I can also hold it down and flip this unit around by holding it down. Get good about being able to, if I want to come over here, or if I want to come over here, or if I want to flip it and come on the back, you're going to need to be efficient at using the scroll. Okay, and remember the buttons, the right click button in order to get into Edit. Okay, and also right click to get into Edit the feature. If I want to now change this to 2 inches thick, I can make it 2 inches thick. If I want to go into the sketch and right click on it, I can make this 3 inches instead of 2 inches. And you can quickly see how editable and how easy it is to manipulate both your sketch and your feature. Okay, I'm going to try to keep these short and sweet. I will try to just add a quick feature to this, like a fillet. So if I went and I picked on an edge and I went to fillet, you can see that that edge is picked right here, and I can change the size of that fillet, and I can accept it, and now that surface is filleted. If I wanted to add a drill hole through this, I pick the surface I want to draw on, I go to Sketch, I go to Create Circle, I pop a circle on there. That is now going to be a cut feature. I tell it to go through all instead of blind, and it's now just cut a hole completely through that V-block. As you can see, that is the cut indication right here. It has this sketch associated to it. The bad thing about this sketch is it's blue. It needs some dimensions. It needs a size dimension, and it needs a location dimension. It doesn't know where it is yet. So if I went like this, and I maybe come off of this edge and went to here, nope, that's not the right dimension. If I came off of, hit escape key, remember how powerful that escape key is. If I went like this, and I said I want that to be 1, that circle's now black, fully defined, and can be changed at any time. Your feature manager, if I close these up, I now have 2 features that are part of this 3-dimensional object. I have a cut, and I have a boss. Well, actually a 3rd feature and that fillet. Those are all considered features of this object. You have a parent-child relationship going on here. This cut cannot exist without the boss. The fillet cannot exist without the boss. Okay? The sketch, this initial sketch, is needed to create the boss. So you have a parent-child relationship. Think about always putting things that you want to change and edit last rather than early. Otherwise, when you change them, other things could get corrupt along the way. All right, that's it. Hopefully that gives you a quick overview of SOLIDWORKS.